Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, despite Bitcoin breaking out on the larger time frames, if we're zooming into a smaller time frame, we're seeing Bitcoin now playing out this warning signal as the price just perfectly hit a lot of liquidity to the upside, but is now potentially targeting some lower prices, while Ethereum is now playing out a new short-term warning signal. So I'll be talking about all of that and more in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, taking a quick look at some Bitcoin ETF news today, because just recently, over the last few hours, we've seen Grayscale send another approximately 3,700 Bitcoin out of the Grayscale Bitcoin trust, and out of that, just under 3,000 Bitcoin was sent over to Coinbase to basically dump on the market. And this is simply because a lot of people are still leaving the Grayscale Bitcoin trust because Grayscale has much higher fees on their Bitcoin ETF compared to other ETFs, which basically means a lot of people are pulling their money out of Grayscale because they don't want to pay those very high fees. And if you're pulling your money out of the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF, Grayscale is having to sell the Bitcoin that backs the ETF in order to pay out those outflows in US dollars, considering it's a cash create ETF. And we get these Grayscale numbers before the numbers from the other ETFs because, of course, we're looking at the Bitcoin blockchain. So this is basically happening immediately. And at least as of right now, Grayscale is still currently holding over 460,000 Bitcoin worth well over 20 billion US dollars. And as for the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETFs and other spot Bitcoin ETFs, we have not yet got the numbers in from BlackRock. And so right now we're just waiting for the new numbers, which will likely come in tomorrow, telling us how much Bitcoin they've actually bought today. And so as always, make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I'll keep you up to date on all of this Bitcoin ETF news. But anyway, taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, looking at the weekly time frame, and once again, as I mentioned in my last video, we just saw a weekly candle close confirm above the golden pocket, with the weekly candle close sitting just above 52,000. And of course, this golden pocket is sitting in between 48,000 to 50,000. And so once again, this golden pocket should now act as new support in case we see a bit of a short-term pullback continue. Once again, 48K to 50K should now act as new support. And as for other levels and, of course, the trend and momentum on this much larger time frame, this has not changed over the last one day. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this larger time frame, then check out my last couple of videos here on the channel. And something similar can be said about the 3-day Bitcoin chart. Of course, around 2 weeks ago, when the price was all the way back down here at around 42 to 43,000, I was saying that within around 1 to 2 weeks, we're going to see a very quick move up towards a price range in between 51 to 55K, which is exactly what has happened. But over the last half a week or so, I've been saying that this volatile move to the upside is now over. I do not expect that extreme volatility to the upside anymore, at least in the short term here. And instead, I expect a bit of a cool off from all of that volatile price action, but not necessarily the reversal out of this larger bullish trend. And so once again, like I've said over the last few days, we're basically taking a bit of a break or pause from this larger bullish trend before we could potentially continue higher later on. But once again, in the short term, I don't expect that extreme volatility to the upside like we were previously seeing. And that's also partly due to the fact that we are currently losing momentum here in the daily Bitcoin MACD, as I've also been warning about over the last half a week or so. And now, technically speaking, we have not yet confirmed a bearish cross, so we have not yet confirmed significant bearish momentum showing up. But with that being said, even though that's not the case just yet, of course, we are already losing bullish momentum, which is why I've been saying over the last half a week or so, I would not be expecting a significant move to the upside here in the short term like what we were previously seeing. And we're most likely going to see some sort of short-term cool-off, basically cooling off from all of that bullish price action in the form of either a sideways consolidation or potentially a bit of a short-term pullback before potentially heading higher later on. And that's also due to the fact that the price of Bitcoin here on the 4-hour time frame is still playing out this active bearish divergence that I've been warning about basically every day since all the way back here. And once again, a bearish divergence usually plays out in the form of either choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback, as the most likely outcomes or most common outcomes from a bearish divergence. And so once again, as I've been saying since all the way back here, this is what I'm expecting in the short term, either choppy sideways price action or possibly a bit of a pullback, simply based on this bearish divergence still actively playing out. And if we're staying on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, of course, over the last one day, we've seen that break to the downside below this line of support for this this ascending triangle pattern. And so technically speaking, the moment we confirm that break to the downside, that did set up a bearish price target, which I mentioned in my last video. And that bearish price target is sitting at approximately 48.9K. And now, obviously, since that initial break to the downside, we did actually see a quick spike back to the upside just in the short term here before now continuing a little bit lower as of recording this video. And that quick spike to the upside was mainly a result of a lot of liquidity sitting very close to 53,000, around 52.8K to 53K, which is exactly what I talked about in recent videos here on the channel. And so once again, like I said, over the last 1 to 2 days or so, this area of liquidity to the upside is attracting the price of Bitcoin towards this area, towards around 53K. But of course, once we take out that liquidity, we don't really have a lot of liquidity further to the upside, just beyond 53K, which is why we saw a quick rejection back to the downside, considering we now have these areas of liquidity to the downside. And if we're taking a look at these lower areas of liquidity, we have this area sitting in between around 50.2K to 50.6K, which could be a possible target in the short term. But if we're zooming out to a larger time frame here on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see some other areas of liquidity showing up. Looking at the last 1 month worth of price action, for example, as we can see right here, there's a lot of liquidity showing up at around 47,000 approximately. First of all, we have this level sitting at around 48.2 to 48.3K, but just below that, we have a major area of liquidity in between around 47.3K to 47.6K. And so once again, we first have this area of liquidity at around 50,500, but let's just say if we broke back below around 50K, then the next target, simply based on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, would be this level at around 48.2K, which is still within this golden pocket area of support, once again in between 48K to 50K. And so that's simply why we're seeing a bit of a short-term pullback. Once again, we hit that upside area of liquidity exactly as expected, with a quick spike to the upside, taking out all of that liquidity. But now that we've already taken out that liquidity to the upside, we're simply left with liquidity to the downside, which once again attracts the price of Bitcoin towards those areas. And so despite seeing that quick spike to the upside to hit that upside area of liquidity after this break to the downside from this pattern, technically this could still continue to play out right now with that technical price target at around 48.9K. And once we see the new numbers from the Bitcoin ETFs, and we can actually figure out how much new inflows are coming into the Bitcoin ETFs now that the stock market is open again, of course, then we can figure out if we should be looking more bullish or more bearish based on the new inflows from the other ETFs. But once again, as of right now, we do not yet have that information from those other spot Bitcoin ETFs. So simply based on the charts alone, simply in the short term here on the Bitcoin charts, we are looking more bearish than bullish just in the short term. And that's due to multiple factors. For example, this break to the downside, also downside liquidity in the liquidation heat map, also a bearish divergence now playing out, and a loss of bullish momentum here on the daily time frame. But if we're zooming out to much larger timeframes, of course, we're still very much bullish on the weekly chart, for example, still in a bull market. We're just taking a bit of a short-term pause from that larger bullish trend. And if you want to take trades just like this in the price of Bitcoin, even if we're going to the downside, you can profit from that price action using a short position, for example. And personally, I take trades just like that over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comments. And also what's happening on Bybit right now is a massive giveaway. Basically, if you're just trading over on Bybit, you can unlock these spins where you can basically spin right here for these prices and win potentially a whole Bitcoin. And so once again, if you're trading crypto anyway, just by trading crypto, you're getting these spins by, for example, trading on the derivatives market or trading on the spot market. Either way, you can get some of these spins. And so once again, just by trading over on Bybit, using the link down below this video, it will take you to this page right here where you can register for this event if you want to, where you can basically trade and win potentially up to a whole Bitcoin. So if you're trading crypto anyway, you might as well check it out. Once again, link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. And just in case you might not be able to KYC on Bybit because Bybit's not available in every country in the world, of course, in that case, there's still that Bitflex giveaway that's happening right now, which I'll also leave a link to in the description down below and in the pinned comment if you want to check this out if you're trading crypto anyway. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the weekly ETH to US dollar chart. And like I said in my last video, video, we've already confirmed the breakout above the golden pocket, which once again, the golden pocket is sitting in between around 25.30 to around 2.7k. And so that should now act as new short-term support for the price of ETH in case we see a bit of a short-term pullback. Once again, I would now expect support in between around 2,500 to 2.7k. And obviously here on the larger timeframes, just like Bitcoin on the weekly timeframe, we're still very much trending in the bullish direction on the weekly timeframe. It's just in the immediate short term, obviously we're taking a bit of a pause or a bit of a short-term cool-off from all of that crazy bullish price action. And this can be seen on the daily timeframe with a slight loss in bullish momentum, as I talked about in recent videos here on the channel. But with that being said, of course, we have not yet confirmed any new bearish cross in the daily Ethereum MACD, which means as of right now, we have not confirmed a significant amount of new bearish momentum. And instead, once again, we've just lost a bit of bullish momentum, which is why the price is somewhat slowing down in the short term from all of that crazy bullish price action. But with that being said, overall, in terms of the larger trend and momentum, we're still more bullish than bearish. It's just in the immediate short term, we're losing a bit of bullish momentum. And this is also because of a new bearish divergence here on the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart. As I said in my last video, we have higher highs already confirmed in the price in the 8-hour candle closes. And as of right now, we have now confirmed a new lower high in place here in the 8-hour Ethereum RSI, which technically confirms this bearish divergence. And as for short-term support to the downside, we do have this area, which we previously saw a perfect bounce from, and that's sitting in between around 26.90 going up towards around 27.20, and below that we have more support sitting at around 25.90. But like I said earlier, obviously in terms of the trend, we're still technically looking bullish because we have not yet broken the higher low, higher high price structure. It's just in the immediate short term. Once again, potentially over the coming days, we could see a bit of a break or setback from that bullish trend, but not necessarily the reversal or the complete end of the bullish trend. And so as of right now, personally, I still have my Ethereum long position open, which I entered all the way back down here, and I already have my stop loss for that long position in massive profits. And so like I've said recently on the channel, and I've basically been saying almost every day since all the way back down here, I'm just simply keeping that long position open as the price continues further to the upside. And as the price goes higher and higher, I'm simply moving my stop loss further into profits. And so with that strategy, I'm basically maximizing my potential returns. If the price just keeps pumping, I continue to profit from that position. But because I'm slowly moving my stop loss further into profits as the price pumps higher, of course, when we eventually see some sort of major pullback, that will just hit my stop loss and exit me out of the trade automatically in massive profits. And once again, if you want to take trades just like that for yourself, check out Bybit or Bitflex, links down below if you want to get those extra bonuses or enter those major giveaways. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, obviously right now the price of Solana has now completed the formation phase of this new head and shoulders pattern that I talked about around 2 days ago. But technically this is not yet confirmed because we still need to confirm at least an 8-hour candle close, but ideally a daily candle close below this golden pocket, so below around $105 in order to actually confirm the new head and shoulders pattern in place and the bearish price target. But if we now confirm this break to the downside below $105 to activate the head and shoulders pattern, personally, I'll be looking to potentially enter a short position to trade that move to the downside, considering that would set up a bearish price target, which would be sitting at approximately $94. And that price target is pretty much perfectly sitting at this previous Fibonacci level, which was also acting as significant supports back here. So there's a lot of confluence at around $94 to $95. And so once again, personally, that's a potential trade that I'm looking at in the short term, a possible short position. But as always, that's not personal financial advice for you because I don't know your personal financial situation. I'm just letting you know my personal trading strategy when it comes to these moves. And if you want to actually know how to take these trades in the price of Solana or any other crypto, no matter if the price is going up, down, or just chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.